this is Mr. Cliff Shipman's wood that he cut down some 30 years ago. I guess it was a tree for his dad that he cut down that was in the way or was causing problems. And we cut it in half. Okay, so step 2, after I cut open the log, I cut it on the crack that was already there. You can see part of it. So I try to cut along the crack so we can preserve as much of the wood as possible. So step 2 is we're going to go to the drill press, and I'm going to drill a hole in the center. I just kind of approximate the center. Drill a hole in the center so that way I can attach it to the lathe using these expandable jaws. Okay, I just realized that I'm going to make a natural edge bowl, so I actually need to cut the hole on the outside of the log. I did cut it on the other side, but I didn't go very deep, so it won't be a problem. So we'll cut it here and then attach it to the... Okay, so now the log, or the wood, is... I have it attached to the lathe with the expandable jaws. You can see the hole I drilled originally, but that's no problem because we're going to have to take that much off anyway. As you can see, there's a big crack down the middle. So the grain is coming towards me. So if I go away from the grain, it's going to split. So I need to work this way. So there's some fibers supporting the wood. So I'll be working this way, and I'll round it. I could have rounded it on my bandsaw, but this isn't a very heavy piece of wood, so it shouldn't be too big an issue to have it on my lathe the way it is now. Right here's the pith, so we'll see how that goes, but it looks like it's really held in there well, so we shouldn't have a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and round it up. And okay, I've started rounding the outer shape. You can see I still have some ways to go. You can see the big crack we have here, so I'll have to deal with that. This will be the inside of the bowl, right in here, and the bottom of the bowl will be down here. So we'll do the outside first, then we'll hollow out the inside. And go from there. So now I'm working more on the bottom of the bowl, and you can see this crack is still there, but it's we're starting to get to it. So I'll go ahead and work the rest of that out, and then we'll work on the rest of the shape up in here so we can get rid of that flat spot. We have to bring that all down. So it's coming along nice, getting some good shavings. This is always a good sign when you get nice long shavings. So it's nice wood. It's got a good color, nice reddish color to it, so it'll be interesting to see what it finishes to be. Okay, so now the outside of the bowl is pretty much complete. It needs to be sanded. We'll turn it around and sand it. And there's a crack where the pith is. But if I fill that in with some sawdust and some super glue, and go from there. So it's outside's pretty much complete. So we'll flip it around and hollow out the inside. For what it is. Okay, today's day 2 of the bowl. I had to run a few errands yesterday, so I'm just getting back to it. I sanded the outside, starting with an 80 grit, working through about 10 different grits of sandpaper, all the way up to 600 grit. I use my pneumatic sander while it's running. Then I decided to make a black line on here by burnishing it with a wire. So we just do that while it's running, and it looks pretty good. Fill a few cracks here with some sawdust, just to take off my lathe, like this, and then I use some super glue and some accelerant. So now what we'll do is we'll turn it around and hollow out the inside. Okay, so now we flipped the bowl around, mounted it on the back, kind of the reverse tenon that we created, and I'll start hollowing out the center. I did sand the outer bark, so that way it keeps its natural shape of the log, yet I'll have a nicer finish rather than the rough bark edge. I didn't like that so well. So we'll hollow out the center. Okay, I started hollowing out the center, and you'll notice how we're taking material away here, but over here we don't. As I put my tool on the rest, you can see that we'll remove the material here, but as we turn the bowl, then we're in air. So as we get down half the time, or a good portion of the time, we're actually not cutting anything. So as it spins, half the time it's in air, and then other times it's in air. That's how that works. You can actually look at the glow stick as you turn the blade and kind of feel where things are at. So if you look, you kind of see the thickness where the bowl actually is and isn't. Okay, so hollow it on the inside, sanded it up. Exactly how it came off the board, off the piece of wood.